And today we are going to start the 14th chapter. So let us prepare ourselves by sitting straight, head, neck, backbone straight. This is a position where the energy flow is maximum, ideal for meditation, ideal for spiritual learning, ideal for overall physical health also. Let us withdraw our mind completely from the world, outside world and inside world. Outside world is Jagata, inside world is Samsara. The best way is to focus on the body and scan the body. In that, healing also happens and mind also gets withdrawn. My body is now still and relaxed and at peace with myself. Let us take a deep, slow, conscious breath. Entire attention on the breath. One more deep, slow, conscious breath. Filling the entire lungs and exhaling slowly. In this, the mind acquires the qualities of the breath, that is freshness, detachment, always in the present moment. This is a weakness of the mind which we are converting into strength. Whatever mind focuses on, whether we want or no, it will acquire its qualities, form, sound. So the body is still and at peace. The mind is cheerful and alert. The intellect is clear and pure. And with this, we invoke the Lord's grace and Guru Parampara's blessings. Rajshekar ji, please unmute. Yes.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gajanam Bhutaganati Sevitam Kavittajambopalasaramक्षितम् Umasutam Shokavinashakaranam Namami Vighneswarapadapakajam Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir me sada Vakandamandalakaram Vyaptam yena characharam Tatparam darpitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnanam Jena Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव सदाशिवसमारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं।
Hari Om. Thank you, Lata Rajshekhar ji. So, we are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter-wise summary, and we have completed the 13th chapter, Kshetra Khetrajna Vibhag Yoga. As we know, Bhagavad Gita is a summary of the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. First 6 chapter predominantly, all other topics also are there, but predominantly the focus is on who am I, why there is sorrow, how to remove sorrow with various techniques. Then the next 6 chapters are who is God. In that we saw Vishwaswarup, Vibhutis of the Lord. And from 13th chapter, the topic is relationship. That's the reason Lord distinguished between the Jagata and the ego and the real self. So as this last 6 chapters are focused on relationship, Asi, Tattvam Asi. Relationship is with the mind. So the next topic what Bhagwan is going to take is that indirectly telling us, now you know Kshetrajna, now you know Kshetra, you know God, you know Atma, you know Maya, you know Avidya, you know everything, but you know your own mind. So next topic is very, very interesting, where we are going to discuss about our own mind, moods of the mind. But before we go to the 14th chapter, quickly let us revise the 13th chapter main points. So we saw in Kshetra Khetrajna Vibhag Yoga is that we must be very clear in distinguishing between what is Kshetra and what is Kshetrajna. Kshetra means Prakriti. Kshetra means Bhagavan has given 24 plus 7 elements, and in that includes the world, body, mind, intellect, chitta, everything. Kshetrajna one, who is my real self, Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharasa. Bhagavan says that I am in all beings, and that is the real self, what I am. That is my real nature, that is my real definition. And that is beginningless, imperishable, Satchitananda nature, illuminator, consciousness, and that also is Purusha one. So because we also took Purusha and Prakriti as two topics separately. So Prakriti is Kshetra, Purusha number one is Kshetrana number one. Then who am I? My imagination about myself, who is a sufferer, who is an enjoyer, who is imagining that I am in bondage and I am doing everything, the Karta Bhokta, is the Kshetrajna 2, that is the witness consciousness, reflected consciousness, ego, I notion, that is Purusha number 2. This distinction must be clear. If this distinction is clear, Bhagavan says this is the highest knowledge and this will liberate us. Because I must know that who is the entity in me who is suffering, who constantly says that I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to liberate now. That entity also is an illusory entity called as ego. Because Bhagavan says that that real self is you only. So in meditation, we don't gain anything new. We gain what we have never lost. And that is our Kshetrajna number 1. So what is Jnanam? The third topic Lord took was, fourth topic is the true knowledge. That is a distinction between the first Kshetrajna number 1, Kshetrajna number 2. And also to know experientially, we must purify our mind. So 20 values were taken. Nayam, what is the worth? Knowing what is the purpose of life, where we must focus our entire attention in life. When we are giving time, Guruji says we have no time for the timeless. We have no time. If you talk to anybody now, no, I don't have time. I am very, very busy. Busy in what? Whether my direction is going towards knowing this Kshetrajna number 1. My family, my job, my business, my social activities, all must actually take us slowly towards my goal. That is Punya. Suppose I am not remembering Kshetrajna number 1. I am forgetting my purpose of life in family, job, business, social activities. That is Papa. That action which takes me away from my goal, that is worth knowing, Nayam, that is Papa. And in Bhagavan gave a lot of contradictory attributes so that we don't get stuck in the words, alphabet, sentences. 4 ways to know Kshetrajna, and the topic was taken. Dhyana Yoga by meditation, Jnana Yoga by Shastra, Karma Yoga by steadfastness of duty as worship to God, by service to the nation, to the service of the Lord of Lords, and Bhakti Yoga by listening with faith, worship with devotion, and we must have faith on Guru, God and scriptures. And just by listening and following, I will be liberated. Liberated means I will attain fulfillment of life, where all incompleteness will go. I will be always experiencing the source of joy from within, not from outside. Result, what will be the result of this? Ya pashyati sa pashyati. I will see that I am not the body, mind, intellect, Kshetra. I am not the I notion, that is the Kshetrana number 2. But my real nature is Sat Chit Ananda. This one sentence I must by heart remember, contemplate. If still I have a doubt, I must ask and discuss. Body, mind, intellect is my transactory self. And all these experiences, what I have in this life, they happen to whom? They happen to I. Who is this I? This I is the I notion, Ahankara, Kshetrajna number 2. But I am Kshetrajna number 1 and my real nature is Satchit Ananda. This is a sentence I must constantly contemplate, that my real nature is Satchitananda and all the experiences of the world are only happening to the I, ego, reflected consciousness, which is false. And now reflected sun is falling in the water. Now the job is to understand this and then dissolve the water only. When the water is dissolved, the reflected sun also, the reflection also will go. And that's the reason 14th chapter is coming, where Bhagavan is going to give us tips to purify our mind so that the water is evaporated. When the water evaporates, there is no reflection of the real sun falling in the bucket. And then what is moksha definition? No moha, no delusion that I am body, mind, intellect. I am imagining that I am body, mind, intellect. No shoka, no sorrow. Because we remember that Bhagavad Gita starts with and ends with shoka only. Ultimately, my aim is that sorrow must not touch me in any way. Bhagavad Gita is also called as Ashoka Upanishad. No shoka. The first chapter ends with Arjuna's state, which is our own state many times, Shoka Samvigna Manasa. And a person who is confused becomes sorrowful. And when there is sorrow, it is also colored with Krodha and Bhaya. So can I imagine a state? So Vedanta is inviting to a possibility of a state of the mind where there is no delusion, there is no shoka, there is no krodha, there is no bhaya. Total fulfillment with permanent unbroken bliss. This is the final state of our liberation. This is moksha. So now Bhagavan says that, okay, you have understood Kshetrajna number 1, Kshetrajna number 2, you have understood Kshetra, you have understood Purusha, you have understood Prakriti, you have understood Jnanam, you have understood what is to be known, that is Nayam, but do you know what is your mind and how it operates? What are the moods of the mind? So now Bhagavan takes a very, very interesting topic, because this topic is very interesting because people normally talk about the mind only. When we say, I don't like this person, actually what we are referring is that I don't like the quality of the mind of this person. This person is very bad. The bad is not referred to his body. Bad is not referred to his Atma. The bad is referred to his quality of mind. So what is the 14th chapter name? Gunatraya Vibhag Yoga. So 13th chapter is Kshetra Khetrajna Vibhag Yoga. And now Bhagavan is taking again distinguishing between three gunas, the three moods of the mind. I must know clearly. Distinguishing, we must separate. So 14th chapter name is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the three moods of the mind. And then it is great fun to see how Gurudev has written commentary on this and how this explanation comes. So let us start by praying to the Lord, and tomorrow it is his birthday. So we pray that, we understand these three moods of our own mind, and then we shift from tamas to rajas to sattva, and then we transcend the sattva also. So now very important question or very commonly discussed topic is this, especially for those people who are attending this class for a long time, who are in Vedanta, who are in spirituality for a long time, that why we shift between intelligence and stupidity. In one breath, we talk about Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra. Another moment, we may act stupidly. So from today, we must drop all this conversation because it can happen. Bhagavan says it is normal. It is not new. We will understand in this chapter that this is the reason why, in spite of, in 1 minute, I can talk of Brahma Vidya, and second minute, I can drop to stupid actions. It is possible. We must have the tolerance and patience and understanding, and this will give us why we behave contrary to our knowledge. I know that I am Atma. I know Jagan Mithya Brahma Satya. I know there is Maya, everything is illusory, but still the attachment, possessiveness, that jealousy, that greediness, that all these things are not going, and I act accordingly. When we know that Bhagavan we do puja, and then Bhagwan is having infinite wealth, infinite happiness, infinite knowledge. Still, I become very, very narrow-minded. So, this is the challenge what spiritual people have, that my knowledge reaches a particular level, and if I do not practice, then this knowledge becomes a load on our intellect. Because I know that this is true, but my behavior is contrary to my knowledge. Why we slip from our intellectual knowledge stand? No, no, from tomorrow I will not eat more than what is required to the body. From tomorrow I will do exercise. From tomorrow I will control my WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook. I will spend less time in digital media. Not one day, 2 day, the resolution goes away. So why we sleep? Bhagavan says normal. It is normal. Normal. It is normal. Why we are not able to excel, have peak performances most of the time. Sometimes we think that, we are in the zone, like all batsmen or bowlers say that I was in the zone. Similarly, we are in the zone, I was in the full mood. What is that mood of the mind? We are going to understand. So it is all normal. So from today, we must not ask these questions to anybody, or not judge people that just because the person is being taking classes on Bhagavad Gita for 25 years, I'm talking about myself, the person should behave in this way, this way, this way, this way only. Understanding is at one level, but it takes time to overcome the tamas, rajas, sattva and go beyond. Why two children are different in one family? Even though they are twins, their nature is different. Why there is so much of variety in this world, which we cannot deny. So much of variety Lord has given. So now what is the cause of this variety? How God created all this variety? So these are very, very important questions where Bhagavan is going to answer in the 14th chapter. So from this point of time, we must be accepting people as they are. It happens. Prakrutim yanti bhutani nigraham kim karishyati. This is Prakriti is doing, gunas are doing all this. So with this questions in the mind, we must approach this chapter so that this chapter becomes more interesting. So verse number 1 to 4, this is the introduction of this particular chapter. Lord summarizes, suppose you do this, Param Siddhi Mitogata, you will get Param Siddhi. Suppose you do this, you understand this. So Lord starts with a promise. Knowing this knowledge of this Kshetra Khetrajna, one attains fulfillment. Whatever you have learned earlier. But do you know, now we have learned now very important point. We know Kshetrajna number 1 is the real self. Kshetrajna number 2 is the illusory self. That is the ego. That is the I notion. That is the reflected consciousness. That is the witnessing consciousness. And then there is a body, mind, intellect and world. So the question comes that in spite of knowing that I am Atma, I am this Sachidananda Swarup, why? How? This ego gets attached to this body, mind, intellect constantly and the world. So how this K2 gets bound to body, mind, intellect? As you mentioned in earlier chapters. So this portion Bhagavan has not taken care of. So now Bhagavan is going to expound on this, that even after having this knowledge, the ego in you will always get attached to the body, mind, intellect and world. And how and why it happens? This is because of the three gunas. So that I am going to expound in detail. So now how it happens? Now very important verse is coming. That Purusha and Prakriti, these two when they come together, Purusha means now this is Purusha number 2, that is the ego. When this comes together with Prakriti, then there is Bhungte, and then there will be attachment and there will be involvement and there will be entanglement. And this Purusha is sitting in the Prakriti. The body, mind, intellect is the Prakriti. And K2, Kshetrajna number 2, Purusha number 2 is sitting in that Prakriti, and then it becomes attached. And that is the cause of all our Punarjanma, all our suffering, all the life experiences what we go through. Ups and downs, sufferings, cause, sorrow, sometime peace, sometime happiness, whatever we go through, this is the main cause. So now we must understand what is the cause. This Purusha number 2 and Prakriti, when these two come together, that's the reason Bhagavan has taken in 13th chapter the definition of 6 topics. Kshetrajna, Kshetrajna, Purusha, Prakriti, and Jnanam and Nyayam. So if I do not understand still the Kshetrajna, Purusha and Prakriti, again we will not understand that how then these two come together, all problem starts. Answer, due to the 3 moods of the mind called as Trigunas, the attachment happens. Not just because there is a ego is sitting inside the Prakriti, body, mind, intellect, and there is a body, mind, intellect and the world. The attachment happens because Bhagavan has created these 3 gunas, 3 moods of the mind, sattva, rajas, tamas. These 3 has a power of binding. So we get attached to this. So now we know the cause. The cause of attachment is the 3 guna. And when the person gets attached, when the individuality gets attached, the life experiences, ups and downs starts. So now when we have said that due to 3 moods of the mind, but first of all, we must know what is mind, what are the 3 moods of the mind, its impact, its result in this life, its result in its impact in the next life, what is its attachment does to us, and these are the questions which are answered in the 14th chapter. So now many know what is Atma, its nature, but not one's own mind and its nature. So now this chapter is dedicated to knowing what is mind, where is it located, what is its function, what is its nature, how it forces us to get attached. As Gurudev says, that we are not attached with body. The children are in USA, the parents are sitting here. The attachment is with the mind. 2 people who are married, they are not attached with the body. Otherwise, if they are body attached, they will not be able to move only. The attachment is with the mind. And when the 2 people take divorce, then the mind says, okay, this is not my husband, this is not my wife. 2 people live separately, the attachment goes from the mind. So all the attachment, the moods are in the mind only. So we must know the nature of the mind and how it happens. What is the result of knowing Atma and mind? Parama Siddhi. Sarve Param Siddhi Mito Gataha. And I will not go through this cycle of birth and death again and again. I will attain fulfillment. So I must know Atma also. I must know mind also. So what is Parama Siddhi? At transcendental and practical level. This is very, 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 very interesting and important to note. Because some people, for some people we say that, he's a perfect person, perfectionist. Everything the person wants perfect. Very interesting distinction Guruji has brought about between what is practical level perfection. And in that Dil Chahta Hai, movie, that Amir Khan is considered to be perfection, and there is a dialogue also. कि perfection को improve नहीं किया जा सकता है. If there is no possibility of improvement, then person is perfect. But this is not what we are discussing. So now we will discuss Parama Siddhi means what? At practical level, we will see Parama Siddhi. Transcendental level, we know that Aham Brahmasmi, the Jiva Bhava dissolves, and then there is only Atma, and the person revels in one's own self. That is a Parama Siddhi. But at practical level, what is perfection? We have to understand that. Then we get a path to practice in day-to-day life, day-to-day words, day-to-day language, day-to-day situation. So life is about 2 things. This is very, very important to note. How a Mahatma like Guruji sees and then brings in simple words clarity what is life all about. Life is about two things. What is that? We have to face situations, different situations which comes to us. We don't ask. Okay, headache come to me. Okay, this problem come to me. Okay, this ill health come to me. Okay, poverty come to me. We don't ask. Nobody asks this, but situation comes. We don't ask this person should come in my life. Some people come and disturbs us. Some people comes and really destroy our peace of mind, even finance, health, everything. And some people come and then take us up in our money, health, finance, happiness, etc. So we have to face situation, what comes to us. What comes to us? There are only three things comes to us: situation, object, person. Without our knowledge, without our invitation, without our expectation, without our permission, without our choice. This is a step number one. This is very, very important. And this is what, if somebody asks us that, with Bhagavad Gita knowledge, what happens? What happens when I have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge? Guruji, says only one thing happens, that your response to situation changes. If it is not changing, then this Bhagavad Gita knowledge has not, you are not digested this knowledge. My response to situation, my response to a person, my response to an object which has come in front of me, because majority of the things which come in front of us are not controlled by us, not invited by us, not expected by us. Suddenly it comes. Suddenly a person realizes that diabetes ho gaya, ye ho gaya, diabetes aa gaya. Now I cannot eat sweet. Heart problem. No, nobody invites all these things. How do I face this situation? Second, at BMI level, like disease, failure, stress, depression, nobody calls for this. This comes. Disease comes uninvited, failure comes invited, stress comes uninvited, depression comes uninvited. Nobody calls for this, given a choice. And what is the second thing? Also, in life, I have to take action for the things I want. So two things I have to understand, that some things come to us uninvited, we have to deal with it. And some things I want in life. I want happiness, I want fame, I want power, I want a job, I want to get married, I want to have children, I want to be successful, I want to travel, I want to attend this. So some things I want, for that I need to take actions. Success, prosperity, pleasure, loving relationship, travel. I want this. So these two constantly are happening. Now there must be clear distinction on what these two. Some people only focus on one and then do not strive for second one. And then there is a problem. No, I want to travel, but what to do? Now there is a problem, health problem. No, I want to have this, but then there is this problem. So I'm only focusing on first one. I'm not focusing on second one. This is the definition of what we do entire life. Something what comes, we deal. And something what we want, we take actions. Very beautiful, simple definition of what is life. If about two possible, then it is called Paramasiddhi. How it is accomplished? By two things. By knowing the nature of my mind, three gunas. If I know how my mind works, then I can deal with diseases, I can deal with failures, I can deal with stress, I can deal with depression. I should not take this lightly, because we all know for small reason people go and do suicide. Just because one relationship not working, suicide. Just because I am not getting the marks I want, suicide. Just because the things are not happening the way I want, suicide, because I do not know the nature of the mind. India is a suicide capital. I don't know, I heard America is a depression capital. Half of them go to psychologists. In India, they say in the people who do suicide, 80% are youth. And when they have researched and found out, the suicide reason is relationship challenges. Most of the time, relationship leads to extreme depression, stress, and leading to suicide also. And the reason for this is, I'm understanding how my mind operates, how to deal with it peacefully, cheerfully. So this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, this knowledge must reach out to maximum. So I'm inviting all the people who are listening today, not only you have to listen and practice, but this knowledge need to be reaching the people so that they don't get depressed, they don't know, they don't get stressed so often, they don't get disturbed so often. Then I can face any situation, I can achieve anything what I want. So it is all about the mind. Even the person who walks on the ramp, Miss Universe, Miss World, etc. Their interviews, if you listen, they will see actually we are trained how to feel good. When I feel good, I look good. When I feel good, my health is good. When I feel good about myself, my relationships are good. When I feel good about myself, I am more successful because I am feeling good about myself and then I'm approaching to achieve something. So it all starts with how do I feel? What is my emotion? There is no sorrow, incompletion, no victim, no confusion, no fear. Suppose I know my mind, because these are all moods of the mind. By knowing my own mind nature and Atma nature, there will be total fulfillment. Peace in life and peace of self and peace of mind, both. Both. So 14th chapter gives this knowledge of three gunas. And that's the reason I had told in the last session that please invite more people whom you know for this session, even though they have not attended earlier chapter, this we can motivate them, because somebody's death, people get depressed, relationship, failure, life, how it has gone. And when the depression, sadness will grip us, we do not know. So these are all highly motivating chapters when we discuss technically from scriptures itself, pramana, that how this mind operates, what happens in the mind, and how these moods happen, and it is all normal. So what is the 14th chapter? Gives us knowledge of three gunas of the mind which will lead to perfection. So what is mind? What is its definition? What is its function? So we will cover this today and see whether we can. With this knowledge, then we will go and deal with the further verses. So what is the definition of mind? The definition of mind is flow of thoughts. Constantly there are flow happening. That word flow is very important. Many people think mind is a state of mind. What is that state? State is a flow. In the flow, there has to be quality, quantity, direction. Gurudev gives three words. Water is not river. River is flow of water. In the same way, mind is flow of thoughts. So I must ask myself, what is the quality of my flow? What is the quantity of my flow? What is the direction of my flow? There is a scientist called as Wayne Dyer. He researched and found out there are 80,000 to 60,000 thoughts pass through my mind every day. If I am a normal person, this can be measured. What is very interesting is that psychologists distinguish between emotions and feelings also. There are some primary emotions which are there, which they can measure, because with that emotion change, there is a change in blood circulation, there is a change in blood pressure, etc., heartbeat. So emotions can be measured. Feelings are subjective. They come and go. Even though I am feeling bad, the mood is bad, the emotion is bad. Sometimes suddenly I get rasgulla I want. For that time, my feeling will change. So there is a difference between emotion and feeling also. Like suppose a person is, has heard, for example, I am distinguishing between feeling and emotion. A person has heard a bad news about some close relative passing away. The person is, emotion is little sad. Then suddenly the person gets filter coffee, somebody offers, or some news come for some time that somebody is born. For that moment, I like that particular news. I have that filter coffee, listen to that news. The feeling suddenly becomes little more cheerful. But once that moment is gone, Then again I come back to my original mood, which was a little sad and depressive because something I've heard which was not as per my liking. So emotions are basics, feelings are little. Emotions precedes feelings. For normal person, 80,000 thoughts, but for a person who is a habit of who has developed a habit of anxiety, stress, anger, frustration, irritation constantly, the number of thoughts are more than 1 lakh, 1.2 lakhs, and that's the reason without doing anything, the person says, I am tired, I am tired. Who gets tired? The body doesn't get tired, the mind gets tired. Tiredness is a function of mind. If there are too many thoughts which are conflicting, mind will get tired. If I am confused, mind will get tired. If I am not taking a decision, mind will get tired. What is the function of mind? Experiencing emotions. What is the location of mind? Throughout the body. So, there are two types of emotion, actually three types of emotions. One which are pleasant. I am not saying negative or positive. One which are pleasant, like happiness, love, peace, compassion, courage. And another unpleasant emotion, fear, anger, sadness, irritation, frustration, anxiety, hatred, jealousy, disgust, revenge. So when we see these two emotions, I must be aware. Today there is a topic called as emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means I must exactly be able to pinpoint what emotion I am experiencing. This is very important because our emotional vocabulary is not so good. For everything we say good only. How was the chappal? Chappal was good. How am I feeling? I am feeling good. How was the food? Food was good. How was the movie? Movie was good. Good means what? So suppose I want to know mind and emotions, I must be specific that I am feeling jealous now. I am feeling happy now. I am feeling loving now. I am feeling peaceful now. I am feeling little irritated now. I am feeling little frustrated, because then I can go to the cause of it. And what is the location of the mind? Okay, one more pointer in function of the mind. If we understand and write down. So today's homework for those who are listening. Homework is I must write down all emotions, what I know. And I must make it into two groups, pleasant and unpleasant. And one thing will emerge when we do that. The unpleasant emotions are more in number than pleasant emotions. And that's the reason we have to be very careful when we talk, when we deal with the outside world. Because when we deal with situation, object, person, our negative emotions grow. So we have to constantly strengthen our positive emotions. That's the reason people like negative emotions more. Negativity sells more. If the news comes, I always give this example. When the news comes today, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli fight, immediately we will read. Aishwarya Rai, Abhishek Bachchan taking, having some fight in the house, immediately we are interested. Next to it, there is one news. One person went and planted 50 trees on the mountain. That I am not interested. इसका झगड़ा हो गया, इसका कुछ problem हो गया, immediately the mind will go and interest. Lot of interest. You know what happened? This happened. Why this? Because predominantly I am nurturing negative emotions. There are two jackals in our mind, they say. One becomes stronger, one is weaker. One who becomes stronger is one which I am feeding. So I must check, as we are eating for the body, what am I eating for the mind? What is the food for thought? Whether they are enhancing negative emotions or they are enhancing positive emotions, pleasant emotions. The location of the mind is throughout the body. How do we know? Because in the waking state, when you touch, when you see, when we taste, the mind is there, so we know the touch, we know the taste. Suppose the mind is not there in deep sleep, even though somebody touches us, we will not know. Suppose somebody puts one honey drop here, we will not be able to know, because the mind is not there. So even though there is a physical contact, we will not be able to, the thought vritti is not created, vritti is knowledge. And that's the reason the mind location is throughout the body. Brain and mind are different. Brain is located here. Brain is made up of neurons. Brain is a physical organ. Mind is made up of thoughts. Mind is not a physical organ. Mind is located throughout the body. Is very, 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 very important. I take corporate workshops almost every second, third day. There are big, big GMs, VPs, CEOs. They basically are very, I just wonder, I have written down here, without knowing one's own mind and how it operates, one gets married, have children, is successful and creating systems in the corporation. What a joke. There are four parts of the mind: known to us, not known to us, known to others, not known to anyone. This is only anyone means in the world. God knows. What are these joke? What is the joke I was telling? Without knowing one's own self mind, people become leaders, marry, deal with the world of beings and things, live life and do a lot of things. Four sections of the mind: ahamkara, chitta, buddhi, mana. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahamkara. These are the four parts of the mind. What are the four parts? There are four kind of thoughts which come in our mind. I thought, that is a ahankar thought. Memory thought, a lot of memory. Then thinking thought, I think, take a decision, analyze, logic. And there is a feeling thought, this I am feeling, that I am feeling. So there are four kinds of thought, four types of thoughts which come. I thought, that is a ahankar. Memory thought, that is chitta. Thinking thought, that is a intellect which comes from the intellect, and feeling thought that comes from the mind. That's the reason in our Shastra we have mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. Four kinds of thoughts. Antakarana. And that's the reason when we say antakaran shuddhi, means all these four must be pure. So master the mind, master the life. Know the tricks, moods, enemies, strategies, and go beyond the mind. Transcend the mind by understanding the play of the three gunas. So now as we have understood this, I have to ponder, because this is the fundamental of going ahead in this chapter. Once I know that all problems are created by the mind only, mind and intellect. When we say mind and intellect, it is antakarana, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. This is the problem creator, this is a problem solver. And once we know how it functions, where it is located, then Bhagavan says, then you know the enemy and you have to strategize and then kill that enemy, or then transcend that enemy as such. So further things, very, very interesting things about mood meter, about different moods of the mind, we will take it next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.